Edgar Berlanga, who is fighting Canelo on September 14th. Now he claims he has a whole country behind him. Edgar, bro, you're from Brooklyn. I think I'm more Puerto Rican.
Edgar Berlanga didn't shy away from responding to Oscar De La Hoya's comments as he gears up for his highly anticipated fight with Canelo Alvarez. De La Hoya, the head of Golden Boy Promotions and a former world champion, has openly challenged Berlanga's claim to represent Puerto Rico. He pointed out that Berlanga was born and raised in Brooklyn, questioning whether this diminishes Berlanga's representation of Puerto Rico. This debate has sparked mixed reactions within the boxing community.
Claim you, bro. And as I said weeks ago, this fight will not do well on September 14th. Not only because the matchup is okay, but because they're going up against the UFC's debut at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Edgar Berlanga didn't hold back in a fiery and explicit tweet directed at Oscar De La Hoya. Berlanga accused De La Hoya of hypocrisy and disrespect, recalling how De La Hoya had eagerly tried to sign him just a year ago, even flying out to meet him. The tweet took a personal turn as Berlanga alluded to De La Hoya's rumored struggles with substance abuse, adding a harsh and confrontational edge to the exchange. Berlanga's tweet read, "Get off my back, Oscar. You were desperate to sign me last year and flew in to sit down with me. Now you want to talk? I'll have that bag of coke ready for you." Berlanga's response was blunt, criticizing De La Hoya for what he saw as blatant hypocrisy and expressing frustration over De La Hoya's comments questioning his heritage and legitimacy as a representative of Puerto Rico in the boxing world.
Now that's a spectacle that everyone and their mother has been waiting to see since it opened up about a year ago. And who is funding it? And
in defense, De La Hoya acknowledged his previous efforts to sign Berlanga and confirmed that while he pursued Berlanga last year, Berlanga ultimately chose to go with Eddie Hearn. Wait, I'm just stating the truth," De La Hoya responded, standing by his remarks. The rivalry between Canelo Alvarez and Oscar De La Hoya has escalated since their contentious split in 2020, with both parties regularly exchanging sharp criticisms through the media. Now, Edgar Berlanga has found himself caught in the crossfire of this ongoing feud. De La Hoya, the head of Golden Boy Promotions and a former world champion, has been outspoken about his dissatisfaction with Canelo, and his recent comments have further strained their already fraught relationship. De La Hoya's latest remarks accused Canelo of excessive arrogance. He referenced a recent leak suggesting that Canelo had refused to meet with him and showed no interest in potential negotiations. De La Hoya even suggested that Canelo's demands have become so extreme that even the Seres, presumably referring to the industry at large, are unwilling to entertain them. According to De La Hoya, Canelo's behavior is driven by a desire to avoid a fight with David Benavidez, instead opting for matchups with more excitement and appeal.
Wait, but all I'm doing is speaking facts. You know, when I'm spitting the truth,
you guys can come.
What else can I say and do? I mean,
You guys.
that was just the truth. I'm not. I actually, I did want to sign Berlanga, but.
In response to the ongoing tension, Canelo has made it clear that he remains focused on his current fight, dismissing any discussions about future matchups. Canelo recently addressed the situation, stating that he received a text about a potential fight in February with Gervonta Davis, but made it clear that he's entirely focused on his present bout. He expressed frustration with De La Hoya's comments, stating, "I don't like the way he talks. I'm not in this position because of him. If he wants to work with me, he needs to get out of my way. I don't meet him." Canelo also emphasized that he respects everyone, including De La Hoya, but disagrees with the way De La Hoya has approached their disagreements. This heightened feud has further complicated the dynamics of the boxing world, especially with Berlanga now involved in the unfolding drama between two of the sport's high-profile figures. Oscar De La Hoya has sharply criticized Canelo Alvarez, accusing him of dodging significant fights and pricing himself out of negotiations. De La Hoya believes Canelo is alienating key figures in the boxing world and has labeled him as overly arrogant. He highlighted a recent leak indicating that Canelo refused to meet with him and showed no interest in potential deals. According to De La Hoya, Canelo's demands have become so exorbitant that even the Saudis are unwilling to negotiate with him. De La Hoya further suggested that Canelo's avoidance of a fight with David Benavidez and preference for less challenging matchups reflect a broader trend of seeking easier fights rather than engaging in more meaningful bouts. Adding a touch of humor, De La Hoya pointed out that despite the promotional hype framing the upcoming fight between Canelo and Edgar Berlanga as a Mexico versus Puerto Rico rivalry, Berlanga is actually from New York. De La Hoya, who lived in Puerto Rico for 6 years, claimed he might have a better understanding of Puerto Rican culture and hinted that true Puerto Ricans might not fully support Berlanga in this matchup. The recent press conference between Canelo and Berlanga was marked by intense exchanges, raising questions about the authenticity of their animosity. Some speculated that the heated confrontation could be a strategic move to generate hype and boost pay-per-view sales. De La Hoya addressed this speculation, explaining that fighters often need to create a sense of anger towards their opponents to mentally prepare for their bouts. As the fight approaches, the tension between Canelo and Berlanga remains high. Berlanga has made it clear he is taking his bout with Canelo seriously. In a fiery tweet, Berlanga lashed out at De La Hoya, accusing him of hypocrisy and disrespect. Berlanga reminded De La Hoya of his eagerness to sign him last year, even flying out for a meeting, and took a personal jab at De La Hoya by alluding to his rumored struggles with substance abuse. This tweet added a personal and confrontational edge to their already heated exchange. Edgar Berlanga responded to Oscar De La Hoya with brutal honesty, calling out what he perceived as hypocrisy in De La Hoya's comments. Berlanga voiced his frustration with De La Hoya's questioning of his heritage and legitimacy as a representative of Puerto Rico in the boxing world. De La Hoya, for his part, defended his remarks by acknowledging his previous efforts to sign Berlanga, noting that although he pursued Berlanga last year, Berlanga ultimately chose to work with Eddie Hearn instead. The rivalry has intensified further due to recent criticisms from Saudi sports promoter Turki Alek. Alek has taken aim at Canelo Alvarez, accusing him of avoiding significant fights and opting for easier matchups rather than challenging opponents. Alek's criticism followed Canelo's reluctance to agree to a fair price for a fight with Terence Crawford. Alek dismissed the importance of Canelo's respect, emphasizing that it was irrelevant to him. He accused Canelo of making excuses and demanding unrealistic sums, labeling Canelo's approach as favoring showy fights over meaningful competitive bouts. Alek reaffirmed his commitment to pursuing significant fights that genuinely benefit the boxing world. He contrasted his approach with Canelo's, stating that respect for Canelo was irrelevant to him. Instead, Alek emphasized his focus on targeting major fights at fair prices. He accused Canelo of wasting time with excuses and unrealistic demands, framing his own approach as one that prioritizes genuine competition over mere spectacle. Oscar De La Hoya weighed in on the escalating tension between Canelo Alvarez and Saudi sports promoter Turki Alek, supporting Alek's critique of Canelo's fight choices. De La Hoya agreed with Alek's observation that Canelo has shown a preference for easier opponents, particularly since his loss to Dimitri Bivol. He drew a parallel between this loss and the schooling Canelo received from Floyd Mayweather earlier in his career. De La Hoya expressed confusion over Canelo's reluctance to fight David Benavidez, a bout that fans are eager to see. He emphasized that while Alek is focused on securing the best possible matchups, Canelo appears more interested in taking the path of least resistance amidst the ongoing drama. Meanwhile, Edgar Berlanga remains intensely focused on his upcoming fight with Canelo. He has made it clear that he is not underestimating his opponent and has warned Canelo not to take him lightly. Berlanga, reflecting on his tough upbringing in Puerto Rico's rough neighborhoods, expressed his determination with a fiery declaration. "I told him I'm going to break every bone in his face." Berlanga promised to showcase his skills on fight night, vowing to let no disrespect slide and proving himself in the ring.